confused, everyone. Let's get dangerous.
This is so cool.
I know.
It feels so right.
Speak, Ciely.
I'm sorry, who is this?
Nice try, Moonman. Pretending not to know. Earth's greatest mastermind. You just made the list.
I thought you said that was a myth.
Just because it's a myth doesn't mean it's not true.
If you all blindly follow my plan, we may have a chance.
Sure, we talk about it all the time.
Really?
No. Burn.
Game on, you Ducks. It feels good to say that. Kind of a mix of the two previous ones, and I'm happy to be back. Back into doing my own podcast, back to podcasting, whatever it might be. Of course, you know that you can find me over at The Athletic, and I'm doing regular guest spots with Fantasy Pros and Pat Mayo, of course. Some Ian Hartitz this year joining us, and yeah, I'm happy. Although I'm a bit sad at the same time. Nicole never watched the DuckTales reboot, and we've been streaming through that over the past couple weeks and just wrapped it up during the trip to Flex League drafts in New York. And man, I was sadder this time because I knew it was ending. Like the first time around when they had the 3 seasons, I didn't know that it was just going to be over in 3 seasons, but knew it was coming. And she's sad too. She's like, "Oh, we can watch it again." I was like, "Yeah, I know, but I'm happy to talk to you guys." All right. So in case you didn't listen to the trailer, we're going to do 2 15-minute podcasts and a longer version one during the season. A lot of 15-minute podcasts-ish, maybe 10 to 15 minutes-ish throughout the year. That's kind of, I want to get you quick hitters. It's why it's called the All-In Speed Run. I probably should have led with that, but hey, I've been out of the game of doing my own podcast for a little while. Just, woohoo, yeah, DuckTales again. All right, so today I'm going to talk about some strategy stuff that I'm looking for this year and some hot button, hot topic. Oh God, hot topic. Anybody shop there recently? I am all over the place. I got some names today. We are going to talk, I will talk rookies in the future. I will talk some favorite values, some of my most drafted players and such, but I kind of want to just start with strategy and some bigger names as of right now. So first off, strategy-wise, 2 different areas we could attack. Quarterbacks and tight ends this year, I have the same approach for both. And if you've watched the movie, you know exactly where I'm going with Ricky Bobby, and that's first or last. I want an elite quarterback, or I'm winning to the end game. And I'll even double dip, but I will double dip on some upside guys. Jordan Love for a bounce back. Drake May to break out. Trevor Lawrence to finally be whatever he was from college. Just a lot of those names in that ranges of the QB 14 to 20-ish. I'm just not taking a quarterback in that 7th, 8th round. Maybe if you get down to the 10th and a player like Fields is still there, which we'll talk about in a second. But generally, it's elite or end game, and that's the same way with the tight ends. If I can get Bowers and McBride in the mid-late 3rd, which probably means I'm not getting them, I will take them mostly because I love George Kittle. Also, talk about him in a minute. If I don't get to one of those 3, though, it's, again, endgame. Some upside names. There's a few here today. Again, a few in the future I'll talk about. But just to throw some out, yeah, I'll take another chance on Pitts. Brenton Strange in deeper leagues, I think, could be an interesting piece as the 3rd option for Liam Cohen's offense. Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, the tight end rookies, even Mason Taylor. Darren Waller's back. That's the strategy for quarterback and tight end. Strategy for running back and wide receiver this year. You guys know, if you've been following along, which I'm assuming you have if you're listening to the podcast, I am a proponent and always have been a proponent of bell cow RB, which has pretty much turned into hero RB because of the fun term on zero RB. I am a hero RB guy. I will draft a running back in the 1st or 2nd round as much as possible. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it every single time. I've started drafts with 3 straight wide receivers just because of how the board fell. But I generally go hero RB, especially this year. I actually think leans more towards only taking 1 running back, and this loops in the wide receivers because you guys know there's a ton of rookies and talented rookies entering the league this year, and it's led to a lot of questionable backfields, again, a future podcast, and a lot of situations where, hey, not only just injury could find us to having a nice value late in drafts or off waiver wires, but these uncertainty backfields, if one takes over, you get the cheaper option later, whatever it might be. I generally lean towards this is the year to get back into wide receiver heavier. Last year for running backs staying as healthy and as successful as they have been, it was kind of anomalous. As much as you hear me say I want to get a hero running back, I think that's about it. I will double dip for 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds if I can get 2 inside my top I'd say 13 or 14, like ended at James Cook, Kenneth Walker. But that's about it, and it generally doesn't happen. People are still going after running backs, which, speaking of, let's get to some of the players to talk about. And the big one is Saquon Barkley. It's interesting that I'm sure you have all seen on Twitter and articles and podcasts and videos and all this type of stuff where everybody's like, oh, Saquon Barkley, 400 plus touches. That's it. He's going to die this year. And yet, just the flex leagues, again, this is the league of experts. I hate that term, but it is called the fantasy league of experts. Maybe I should change the name. Anyway, he went second and third for running backs. And a lot of drafts I've been in the industry and been watching, he's still going top 3 for running backs. So people are not putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to Barkley. And I'm on the side of, I'm taking Barkley. I'm taking CMC. If CMC is there at the 6th or 7th pick in the first round, I am taking him. He has the upside to be the best player in fantasy. That is worth the risk of the injury history we've seen. Just like Barkley, I get it, 400 touches. He didn't get hit a lot last year, and he's not 32 years old, and he didn't have a ton of touches before that. And I know part of it, he has an injury history too. If you don't want to take either of them, I'm not going to fault you for it. I'm just telling you that I would take Barkley as the second running back off the board, third at worst. And again, Christian McCaffrey, I am attacking in the middle of the first round every single time for that upside. And I think it's interesting, like I said, so far, the drafts have shown that, and I don't know that's necessarily going to change. A running back that I'm kind of not getting a lot of so far, as I don't know if you heard Coda cough in the background there, and get choked up over the Barkley talk. Ashton Jeanty, the rookie. Again, this is if you've, I don't want to be like, haha, this is what I'm saying, because there's everybody out there loves Jeanty, but I'm just pointing this out to say, for context, if you didn't read my rookie articles, that I am super high on Ashton Jeanty. Not just because he's from my area. Hey, I bet you didn't know that. But Jeanty is the best since Saquon Barkley and all that type of stuff. I'm just concerned that he's not walking into an offense like Ezekiel Elliott even when he was a rookie, where he's going to get double-digit touchdowns or necessarily even the passing game volume we hope. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I'm just seeing Jeanty go as the 4th, 5th, sometimes in front of McCaffrey, 5th running back right after him. But in front of Henry, I'm not doing it. In front of Achane, I'm not doing it. I have Jeanty at 7, and I could see a case where you still go for the certainty of Josh Jacobs in that offense with his volume. And heck, everybody behind him keeps getting banged up anyway. So I think he's in that range. He's in the same tier for me as Henry, Achane, and Jacobs, which means, again, I'm not getting him. The other rookie, Omarion Hampton, which I've said before, very much like the Bijan Gibbs draft, I think they're super close. I would take Jeanty every single time, but I think Hampton deserves to be in the conversation with Jeanty, just like Gibbs with Bijan back then, and a lot of people are putting a big gap. And I say all that to say, I feel like I'm not getting a lot of Hampton either. I have Hampton at 17 for running backs. He's not super high or super low. He's in a tier with Connor, Hubbard, Pacheco, Breece Hall. I'm trying to think who else is there. You guys can, hey, hashtag check the link. That's back. But the thing with Hampton was this was already before the injury to Slater, which is concerning. It's not Trent Williams level, but it is concerning enough. But it comes down to, I know Najee Harris is dealing with the eye issue. Stop playing with fireworks, kids. But I really don't think that Najee Harris is going to be a non-factor. Like, I don't think Najee Harris is going to get 40% of the work, but we've seen Greg Roman before, and I know it's kind of the chicken and the egg of the talent that he's had in the past, but a Greg Roman offense generally doesn't give the lead running back 300, 350 touches, and I really like Hampton. I actually think he'll be super productive. If you tell me Hampton was going to get 3, if you told me Hampton and Jeanty are going to get the same workload, they would be back-to-back in my rankings. It's just, that's my concern, that Harris is going to be involved because it's the Chargers, and I do think they get back to passing a little bit more this year, with Justin Herbert, hopefully with some of those weapons, and Keenan Allen coming back. Hey, by the way, somebody else we're going to talk about in a second here. So that's where I'm at on Hampton. So let's talk wide receivers. And let's talk Ladd McConkey with Keenan Allen back. Not that concerned with Ladd McConkey. I think he takes a slight ding, but not a huge one. He's not moving much in my ranks. The Keenan Allen one, I am putting Keenan Allen ahead of Trey Harris. I have been on the Trey Harris bandwagon. I believe that he had a chance to be the number 2, but I think that Keenan Allen kind of tells us, the signing tells us the Chargers aren't ready for him, or maybe they're seeing something or not seeing something they want for Harris to be out there. I think Harris is more battling with Quentin Johnston as the number 3 option, the downfield threat now. I think Keenan Allen can play outside. I will say one thing. I am taking Keenan Allen late in drafts, and again, before Trey Harris. I still am taking Trey Harris. But if you're taking Keenan Allen and he doesn't look revitalized with the Chargers, back with Justin Herbert, one of the first people I'll drop after the first 2 or 3 weeks. So keep that in mind. He's probably a nice piece that could be your wide receiver 4, but I'll be ready to move on if I'm not seeing it. Another situation a lot of people are talking about is the Stafford back for Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. I think Puka Nacua is one of the riskiest top 10 wide receivers. I would take him before Devontae Adams, and I do think he has top 5 upside. I mean, we've seen the top 5 upside, but I say there's a lot of risk there where going back to my CMC Barkley situation, if you happen to have a chance and start with CMC, I would not follow it up with Puka Nacua or vice versa. I think that's putting a lot of risk in your first 2 picks. And I wouldn't be shocked. I would be surprised, but not shocked if... I would be shocked... No, wait. I would be surprised, but not shocked if Devontae Adams, I got that right at some point, finished ahead of Puka Nacua this year, and even that being on a fully healthy season for Puka Nacua. I think there's a chance that Devontae Adams has enough left. We just saw it last year with freaking Aaron Rodgers that it wouldn't be shocking if I said that right finally for the 5th time. Calvin Ridley, I'm bringing up this name even if other people aren't. I tweeted it out. 120 targets last year and finished as a top 30 wide receiver with garbage throwing him the ball. If he gets 120 targets this year, which by the way, he only had 1 end zone target last year, he's going to finish as a top 20 to 25 wide receiver, potentially even higher. And if he gets 130 or 40 targets from Cam Ward, I think Calvin Ridley is one of the best current values. Last one for now, Marvin Harrison. I know a lot of people are looking for Marvin Harrison to have a better year in year 2, and I am as well. And I do think there will be better rapport with Kyler Murray. That being said, I want to see the Cardinals use him better. I don't know if you guys have seen early practices and everything, but they keep sending him on those go routes and just, oh my God, the Madden all 4 goes or verticals or whatever the hell that play was back in the day. Let Marvin Harrison do other things. I know Marvin Harrison, part of his only slight concerns coming out of college was some of his route running ability, but good God, if they're going to do that to him again, I think we could be looking at another disappointing season for Marvin Harrison. And let's talk quarterbacks again and tight ends again before we get out of here. Justin Fields, I'm sure you guys have seen in my ranks. He is on a lot of my teams so far. The last time he played 15 games, guys, and women, 1,000 rushing yards, QB6 overall, and in points per game. I don't need you to be a good passer in fantasy. Anthony Richardson proved that to us. You don't have to be a good passer, and yet you can finish as a top 10, potentially top 5 quarterback just on the rushing upside alone. Do I think he gets 1,000 rushing yards? Probably not, but I don't see him losing the job. They didn't sign him to not see what he can do for the entire year. The only risk would be injury, similar to go back to the other thing about how much risk you want on your team. Another one is J.J. McCarthy. I know he's getting a lot of helium, and I know Kevin O'Connell is the quarterback whisperer, but we've seen that before with other quarterback whisperers. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. And with J.J. McCarthy, I know he has the talent and the upside. I just think we're kind of putting him at, when I see people rank him at QB 14, 15, even 12 and some, I just feel like we're putting him at a ceiling for his rookie year. And I know it's not a true rookie year because he was around the team and practicing last year. I just don't think we're baking in enough risk. And then Justin Jefferson, I'm not concerned about, but Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson, I am, to include TJ Hawkinson. The third option when Addison is back from a suspension. Hawkinson's, that rookie season there was nobody left. I just don't have a lot of Hawkinson to go back to that, but I do have a lot of George Kittle. I do think you are getting a tier 1 tight end for a 2-round discount from Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. And then to finish things out, and what better way to do so? Not talking DuckTales, not talking video games, which we will still do. I promise you that. Don't listen to this podcast if you don't want that stuff mixed in, including cereal candy takes. But Kyle Pitts, I am going back only because, mind you, I was out on Kyle Pitts last year. Going back because he's free this year. You can wait to the double-digit rounds and say, you know what? Maybe Darnell Mooney isn't 100%, or even the second option with Michael Penix, and all of a sudden we get the Kyle Pitts we knew as a rookie. Look, the fact is he's miscast as a tight end. He's also miscast as a wide receiver. He might just be miscast in the NFL, and we're waiting for him to have a Jonnu Smith late career breakout, even though he did have his rookie season. You get my point there. And I'm saying, you know what? If I wait to the end game, Kyle Pitts, going for it. But again, he'll be somebody that... There's another one. If you draft Kyle Pitts and it doesn't click in the first 2 weeks, move on. But I will say, If he does, and he comes out like gangbusters, think about the trade packages you could possibly pull off in your league. People don't generally trade for tight ends, but if Kyle Pitts gets 180 yards and a touchdown in the first 2 games, and people start thinking about his rookie season, yeah, you're going to have a huge trade chip. What better way to finish the podcast? A trade chip for your team. I love you guys. I love that you're listening. I love to be back. Doing this solo. Not always. I will have guests and I will do longer form, but 15-15 is the way to go. It is the all-in speed run. Hopefully that was quick and fun for you. And man, God, why can't I get over this DuckTales? Send me some TV suggestions. I need short 30-minute comedies because Nicole and I watch like Dexter and stuff like that because she never watched it. And it kind of like need a happy refresher before you go to bed because you don't want your mind set in that way. So if you have 30-minute things, not Friends, I've watched a billion episodes of that. So if you have anything, I appreciate your suggestions. And yeah, happy to be back.